The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Andrea Price. This young woman started Price's Pristine Cleaning, October 2000. Woo! Shouldn't talk for a living. All right, here we go. Let's do it. October 2018, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, serving commercial clients. She cleaned apartment complexes alone for 3 years, but got burnt out. I'm sure you did. I'm surprised it took you that long, and quit. And she's wanting to start up again. So that's the background I got, but why don't you say hello and fill in the blanks with your
Hello. Hi. Again, yes, I'm Andrea. Yes, I cleaned apartments for 3 years solo. I did get burnt out doing all the work. It was a lot. I always wanted to hire people, but I was working so much, I never had the time to hire people. So after a while, it just became too much for me and I just stopped doing it. And now I'm wanting to get back into it because it was good work. But now I'm just kind of like, don't know where to start at and don't know where to go right now. So.
Cool. Well, let's jump in and see if we can't help you. I think,
Okay.
well, you know what, if it's all right, as opposed to doing the regular, just where you give me a question, may I just coach you as if you were a client, like you were in our program and I was trying to help you?
Yep.
Sounds perfect. So I'll ask you a couple of questions and I'll do what I can to help you get on the right track. So the first thing, and this is for everybody, even if you're not just starting up again, you've got a business going, but you're looking for a coach, you're looking to improve, you're looking to get next level. Obviously a coach can ask these questions to you and with you, but if you don't have a coach, you can ask these questions to yourself. It's a little harder, but they still need to be answered. So let's just talk about your goal, Andrea. There's only two real things this business can give you, aside from, prestige and feelings of importance, but like actual quantifiable things is time and money, right? And only two things that you can give it, time and money. So what kind of, we don't need to really worry about what money you're wanting to put in right now. Let's talk about what kind of money you're wanting to get out and what kind of time you want to put in and what you'd like to spend that time doing.
Well, instead of doing the cleaning, I want to spend my time running my business versus the cleaning. I also wanted to, out of my company, I wanted to grow as well. Like I said, I was doing it solo by myself. So I want to, gain the knowledge of how to run my company properly. Because I just—
So hold on, you're jumping to step two, which I'm glad you did. No, don't be. I'm glad you do what other clients do, so I can coach you. If you said everything perfect, then we couldn't give value to Clean Nation. So hopefully you guys, she did something great I want you to get, and then she did something that wasn't as helpful that I want you to get as well. Not just Andrea, but Clean Nation. So the first thing she did very clearly, very quickly, I don't want to clean. I want to work on my business, not in it. Key distinction. There's no moral judgment to clean toilets for money. It is God-fearing, hard work. There's nothing wrong with that. Please don't hear me say that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with having a business that pays other people to do that. Well, you do different kinds of work and get paid for building a business as opposed to cleaning toilets. So there's no moral judgment. The only judgment, which isn't even moral, just business, is if you don't know which is which. Or even worse, you say you want one thing and you act another. I want to run my business. I don't want to clean. And then you go clean. Not you, but the world. So great job starting with what you want. I don't want to clean. And honestly, what you don't want is as important. So I don't want to clean. I want to run my business. Super clear. Then we got into kind of some fuzziness around, well, I want the money and I want to get the knowledge. And so you're already, and this is very common to business owners, you're already starting to try and make a plan, but we haven't gotten clear on a plan to go where, to do what. So let's get crystal clear on where we're going. You're already like, I could buy a plane ticket, but I think I'd want to fly first class, but that's going to be expensive. Now there's also trains, but we haven't nailed down where. Are we going to Orlando or Paris? Until we get the where down, well, let's not even talk about trains. Cause obviously you go to Paris, that the train ain't going to be a great idea. So we know that you want to clean. Perfect. And let's just go with a year. By the way, I do a lot of these coachings and this is exactly the conversation I have. And my least favorite is, there's two ways you can screw this up. Well, I don't want to, I've tried before and I failed and I don't want to, get over my skis or say too high and, embarrass myself. Let's be honest. Let's get what you want. The other one is, I don't want to limit myself, Mike. I want to be a billionaire. I don't want to put a limit on it. It's like, hold on. Setting a goal and a target isn't a limit. It's just business. So let's go a year from now. So a good question, pick on poor Andrea. When I said, what do you want out of this thing money-wise, would be like, when? Because that answer is different, obviously, in a month and a year and 10 years. So let's go a year, because in a month, kind of hard to make a lot of difference. In 10 years, it's really hard to control what's going to happen between now and then. So 1 year from today, you're not cleaning. We start this thing with you not cleaning. What kind of profit does this need to make for you to be on track doing a happy dance?
I would like to at least be making like 10K a month.
Profit. Now here's another distinction. Everyone says 10K, and I think they don't get the difference between profit and revenue. So revenue is all the dollars that come into your business. Profits, what you get to pay after expenses. I'm assuming, or what you get to keep after expenses. Sorry. I'm assuming you want 10,000 in profit, not 10,000 in revenue, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Here's another mistake folks make is they go, well, when I was cleaning myself, I kept 80% of the money. So when I'm have employees, I'll keep 50% of the money. So, if I want to make 10 grand, I'll just need, first of all, they just think 10 grand is magic. And then they get to 10 grand, like, holy crap, I don't get to keep all that. So we coach to a 50, 30, 20. You can do much better than that, but this is the minimum, 50, 30, 20. So 50% cost of goods sold, what you're going to pay your labor, 30% for overhead, for insurance and not cars, but gas for your employees, rags, marketing, cell phones, all the nonsense you need to run a business, and then 20% left over. So that means if you want $10,000 in profit, and it's a real business that actually operates itself without you cleaning, we're talking 50 grand a month in revenue. Does that make sense?
Yes. Understand.
Okay. And again, no judgment if you did or didn't, but most people just, they don't just do that simple math of like, okay, well, what does that mean? So 50, and the good thing is that there's no way you're going to have a $50,000 a month cleaning company and still be cleaning toilets. I guarantee you that. So it's a good thing.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even know how to coach at it. It's possible, but why? I mean, I couldn't imagine cleaning toilets and running a $600,000 year business.
Right.
Okay. So we're clear on, we don't want to clean and we want $10,000 in revenue. That's going to take $50,000 in. And by the way, this is exactly what we do when you come into the program. We're just doing it a little bit for you. So the next thing we're going to have to do is there's some common things that you're going to need: leads, bid, sales, applicants, interview, starts. So we can't go through that process now, but you're going to have to figure out how many of each of those you'll need each year to build up a $50,000 a month business. Does that make sense? Yes. So let's just say, I'm going to do easy math. Let's just say your average client's $500 a month, which if you're going to go residential, that's high. You probably won't be that high. If you're going to go commercial, that's low. You probably won't be that low. This is a fake business. That's neither commercial nor residential, but just because I could do easy math, $500 a month would just be 100 clients, right? So that means 8.33, I think, per month, something like that, 8.6, something like that. We'll just call it 10 clients would be 120 clients in a year. And say you lose 20 of those in the year, boom. Now we got 100 clients at $500 a month. That's $50,000 a month. Easy peasy.
Yeah. Sound.
Okay. And I'm going quick. Luckily, this is recorded.
No,
so Cleaning Nation, you can stop and rewind. And Andrea, you're here live, but you can go listen to the recording as well. Okay. So, and I know 100 clients sounds like a lot, but 10 a month. Now all of a sudden, that's not so much, especially if you're residential. I'll be honest. For commercial, it's 10's way too many. You're probably not going to get that in a month, but your average client might be worth 2,000. So now you only need 20. So the math kind of changes, right? And if you're doing residential, you might need 15 clients. So the first thing is you got to figure out who's going to be my perfect client, which we'll talk about. What's an average client going to be? And then you divide the 50,000 in revenue by the clients you need, and, kind of just do a little bit of math. Again, we can't go all the way down here because this is what we do over a 9-week program. We can't do it in 20 minutes, but then once you've got that, exactly how many clients you need, don't forget you lose some, right? So that's why it's like, if you need 100, you're going to want to sell 110 or 120 because they're not all going to stay. You're not going to have 100% retention. Right. And for those of you like, I've been in business 5 years and I've had 100% retention. Yeah, because you had 9 clients that you've had for, you know what I'm saying? Like when you start scaling and taking on 100 clients in a year, I promise you're going to lose some.
Right.
Okay, so step 1 is figure out your niche, which we're going to come back to. Step 2 is figure out what your average client value is going to be, which we're going to come back to because you can influence that, and that's a big deal. And then step 3 is you break it down into leads, bid, sales, applicants, interview, starts to get that, right? So if I need 10 clients a month and half the people I talk to give a bid to become clients, well, then I need 20 bids. And if half the leads I get turn into bids, well, then I need 40 leads. So then I just have to come up with a plan to get 40 leads to turn into 20 bids to turn into 10 clients. Flip side on applications, same thing. If I hire a third of the people I interview, well, then if I need we'll just say 20 employees or 20 cleaners. Or let's just say I need 3 a month. Well, if to keep 2, by the way, because you don't want to plan on, if I hire 3, I'll keep 2. All right. Well, to keep 2, I hire about a third of the people I interview. Well, I better interview 6 people. Well, only about 10% of the applications show up. Okay. Well, better get 10 applications to get 6 interviews, to hire 3 people, to get 2 to stay, repeat every month. And I'm just kind of making up the numbers, but does that all make sense how that works?
Yes, I get it. Yep.
Okay. So let's talk about the 2 important questions that we skipped, and then you should have a good plan to get from here to where you want to go. First one is picking my niche. So the beautiful thing about niche is so few people do this. And they'll say they have a niche, but they take other clients. So that's like me going, I'm all into my wife. I mean, I date other girls, of course, but it's like, well, hold on. like either don't get married, or if you're going to be married, then let's just be with that one, and I know, nowadays there's different people doing different things, but that's just how this guy's take on how he's going to be married to his wife. You do what you want to do. Okay. So the key to the niche is literally you're halfway there just by picking a niche, because everyone says they're going to pick one until, oh, but you don't understand. I picked residential, but this guy's got a business and he wanted me to clean, and there's an opportunity. A niche by definition means saying no to a large percentage of the people, the vast majority of people. We've done very well in this space, and there's the vast majority of business owners do not own cleaning companies, but we've done so well because we only help owners of cleaning companies. And I was just looking up last couple nights ago, the data shows there's like 1 million janitorial companies, like 900,000 cleaning companies. So with 2 million, give or take, potential clients, for me to go, I need to get out of my niche. That's insane. Until I have, 3, 4, 500,000, maybe I could get another niche, but it's insane until then. We do the same thing with like residential. There's, 500,000 people in our house or in our city, and 200,000 households. And of those 200,000 households, 20,000 of them would be a perfect prospect because they're big enough and have kids and whatever. And we've got 9 clients. And we're like, I have to take on other, like, are you insane? You have 9 out of 20,000. What are you talking about? So half of it is just picking the niche, right? The second thing is everyone thinks niche is like, well, I have an in on this, or I like it, or I'm good at it, or I'm comfortable with it, or my brother does. There's all these weird criteria that are terrible criteria to pick a niche. Really, there's just a couple that you really need. One is they got to have money, right? Like you might love helping apartment dwellers, but most apartment dwellers aren't going to pay, or even renters, right? Like if I'm paying $1,500 a month or $1,000 a month to stay in this place, what's the likelihood I'm going to pay $300 a month to clean it? And very, very low. Where if it's $1 million home, what's the chance I'm going to pay $300 a month to maintain it? Very high. So you got to make sure they've got that. But the biggest thing that ever misses is pain. Pain. If there is no pain, there is no sale. It is so hard. So hard. If people don't have pain, they're never going to do anything. If they're in massive pain, I'd rather take broke people in pain than rich people with no pain. Because what are you selling them if they're not interested, right? So, the old adage in marketing is the number one thing if you need to start a restaurant is a starving group of people. That's better than good food, than good prices, than clean restrooms, than good service. All that crap without a starving group of hungry people is just about worthless. And you don't need any of it, any food with a starving group. So find a starving group of people, whether it's commercial or residential. So with niche, make sure you go with pain, not what you're comfortable with. And again, that's big girl, big boy business owner decisions. We want to do well, I did, apartment complexes and blah, 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 blah. So I'm comfortable with that. And I like that. And I will tell you, apartment complexes move in, move out. They do have pain. It is a huge pain in the butt. The last thing that we want to make sure is that they, are recurring. Right. So that's what we don't like about the apartment complexes. It's very hard to scale a business when they're like, I need 17 clean tomorrow, and then I don't need any for 3 weeks, and then I need 2, and then just impossible scale. So you have to make sure that the business model, their pain is a pain that you can and want to solve. Right. There's a lot of people out there that get sick if they don't do drugs, right? They're drug addicts. So they have a pain I could solve. I do not want to solve that pain. So we got to it's fine. It's just not for me. So the recurring, if you get people that have pain, they're recurring revenue. When I say recurring, I mean the same amount, because you could make the argument, no, they're recurring. They pay, $300 a month. How do you do the math on the apartment complex? Some months they do 100 turns, some months they do 7, so, Yeah. And then you want to there's a bunch of stuff about how you get paid and when you get paid and all that sort of stuff. So A, do the math, understand what you want out of your business. B, figure out your niche. And then C, Now you just have to find out what their pain is and then offer to solve it for them. Super easy. So again, really easy for me to grow my cleaning company. You guys don't have a lot of money, frankly, most of the time, because if you had big, fat, successful cleaning companies, you'd be okay. And 15% of our clients do that, but 85 are broke folk, right? But you have massive pain. You're committed and you're like, I don't want to clean anymore. And I'm working and I know this is a waste of my time and I could be so much bigger. So you have so much pain, super easy to sell. So I just found out what you guys want. You're like, I want to grow. I want to get paid. I want to get out of cleaning. And I'm like, we can help you do that. So super easy. We don't even have to sell. We just do these free podcasts and people come to us more than we can handle. So that's the same thing you do. You just find out what their pain is. And look at this podcast. What am I doing? I'm talking with Andrea about her pain. And she's like, I want to learn how to grow a cleaning company. I tried before and I got burnt out and I quit. Probably a good prospect, right? If we're like, we have money, we'll show you how to do this. She'd probably be like, yeah, I would like that very much. So, all right, that's the big, hairy, overreaching theme. Questions, comments, rude remarks, any other blanks I can fill in for you?
Nope, you hit it on the head.
All right, easy peasy. Cool. Well, I'm happy to just call it, but any other questions or comments or any other way I can serve you before we go?
You were right, like with the commercial cleaning, like, because like I said, I was doing the commercial cleaning and I had my issues with trying to pick my niche, because, with the commercial cleaning, you were saying like 1 minute you got all these cleanings and the next week I don't have anything. So, but with residential, I guess I'm just was concerned about having reoccurring clients or whatever. And I guess I wasn't before finding my target audience when I was doing residential, because I was trying to do both. So now I am leaning more towards the residential, especially after hearing all of that, after hearing everything that you were just saying. Just because I feel like the commercial wasn't like consistent now. So I'm wanting to get into the residential.
Well, let's just make a quick clarification, because you're using the word commercial, which I would not use. Apartment complex, move in, move out. So move in, move out is that is a subset of commercial that I would not recommend, but I would not say all commercial is bad. So let me just comment on what Andrea is saying, because it's really important. That's why we started with what you wanted. So if we weren't clear on whether you want to do the cleaning or not, you might be able, I don't know, it'd still be hard to build a $50,000 business on move in, move out, because you'd still have to hire, but you can't possibly do that many yourself. So you have to hire. But once we know our goal, we're like, well, I don't want to do any cleaning. Okay. Well, that means you're going to have to hire people. Okay. Well, I want to do move in, move out. Well, do you think you'll be able to hire people to do 20 cleans today and then nothing tomorrow and nothing the next day and then 2 the day after that and then 3 and then none and then 7 and then 12 and then 0?
That was a concern.
No, I probably can't. Okay. So that would be not a good niche to hit your goal. But if we're not clear on what the goal is, how can we tell if it's a good niche? And the second thing is, could I do 50,000, say an average turn is $200? You're like, well, gosh, now you have to do, I can't even do the math. Is it like 1,000? Am I crazy? $50,000 a month divided by, goodness gracious, 50,000 divided by 200. Yeah, that's 250 cleans turns per month. If you work 7 days a week, God forbid, it's just 250 a week or a month. And it's not gonna be 250 a month. It's going to be, or, that would be like almost 10 a day, like 8 a day or something. It's not going to be 8 a day. It's going to be 27 and then 0. So when you start kind of putting the math around your niche, you're like, this just isn't going to work. I can't hire the people. I can't do it myself. This is insane. Now, again, with the residential, you start doing the math, say it's 300, 350 is where you should be residential, by the way. Now you're like, could I do 50, 60 cleanings? If it's the same clean every time, and I just had teams that just like, you do your morning account, you do your afternoon account times 5 days a week. Well, shoot, you got 10 accounts, but if they're all every other week, that's 20 accounts per month. So I just need 10 teams. See, the math all of a sudden starts working. So I think you're probably running into problems before because you weren't clear on your goal and you had a gross feeling like this isn't what I want, but I don't know why. So getting clear on your goal, where you want to go, helps you pick your niche. So hopefully you guys all got that. But the reason we spent so much time on where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? Hard to pick a niche. If you came to me and go, what is this, a good niche or a bad niche? I go, I don't know. What are you trying? It's like coming in with a hammer and going, is this a good tool or bad tool? Well, I don't know. What are you trying to accomplish? So if you're like, I don't know, well, then I can't, we can go round and round forever. But when you're like, there's a little thin nail that I want to push into a wall. I'm like, oh, hammer's fantastic. But if you got a screw you want to turn, now a hammer's not so good.
Right. Gotcha. Well, I think you answered my questions, and I really got to get more specific on my goals and write them down and accomplish them. So thank you so much for that input, because I wasn't thinking about all of that.
That is why people call coaches. So that said, we'll close it. Grow My Cleaning Company or Clean Nation. If you're like, I would like some of the help, I need that kind of conversation. If you go to growmycleaningcompany.com, you can jump on our free on-demand training. At the end of that training, you'll have an opportunity to talk with a coach who will walk you through where you're at now, kind of what's stuck, what's working, what's not working, where you want to be, and help you come up with a plan to get there. We don't even charge for those. So growmycleaningcompany.com, check it out now. See you there. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you before for sticking through with me, but like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share with a friend, share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now. 602-932-6431. Give me a text. Say hey. Can't wait to meet you.